Hey guys, this is Candle, and welcome to a new game on the channel. Yes, we are going to be playing Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or Philosopher's Stone if you prefer, but this is the PC version. And, what can I say about this game? I mean, it is way better than it really has any right to be, seriously. This was a movie tie-in game, and, from 2001, and honestly, it's not that bad. It's pretty damn good, actually. It is a little basic. Actually, if we go into the options here, you can see, I've already maxed everything out. Highest resolution it goes is 1024 by 768. I'm actually upscaling that to 1080p, and I am doing this new thing where I am mastering this, or encoding this video in 4:3, so you guys should be able to see it in on a 4:3 screen or in the YouTube thing without the black bars on the side. Now, naturally, if you're still watching on a 16:9 screen or 16:10 or 21:9 or whatever, you'll end up with these black bars on the side, but it won't be as bad. And yeah, you can see the controls are pretty simple here. It is tank-based controls, but it's not actually that bad. This is one of the few times where I don't have an issue with it. But yeah, basically just to start, pretty much every Harry Potter Sorcerer's Stone game is completely different because most of them came out on wildly different hardware. You had the PC version and the PlayStation version, which were both these 3D action adventure type games that were or action platformers that were kind of similar to each other but still different. The Game Boy Advance version was a top-down puzzle platformer, and the Game Boy Color version was it was a full JRPG. And then there was one more version which came out a couple years later. It wasn't actually a movie tie-in, but it did come out a couple years later for the then next generation hardware on the GameCube, Xbox, and PS2. And those are all three of those are identical to each other, but they're still distinct and different from the PC and PlayStation versions. So let us go ahead and just start up a new game here. Let's go ahead and replace that.
There was nothing about the starry sky that night to suggest that strange and mysterious things would soon be happening. As unsuspecting muggles slept, a huge motorbike with a giant astride it tumbled down from the darkness. The giant, named Hagrid, left a blanket-wrapped bundle on the doorstep of number 4 Privet Drive. Nestled in the bundle was a baby. Harry Potter, the boy who lived. For the next 11 years, Harry lived with his dreadful step-parents, the Dursleys. Until that fateful day, when he received the letter inviting him to attend Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Hagrid took Harry to Diagon Alley to purchase a most unusual list of school supplies. While at Gringotts Wizard Bank, Hagrid collected a scruffy package from Vault 713, mentioning to Harry that the package, whatever it was, would be safer at Hogwarts. Soon after, Harry caught the Hogwarts Express from platform 9 3/4 and left the Muggle world far behind.
Dumbledore stood up. This term, the corridor on the 3rd floor is out of bounds to everyone who does not wish to suffer a most painful death.
Harry sat beneath a sorting hat, hoping that he would not be chosen for Slytherin House over Gryffindor. "Not Slytherin, eh?" said the hat in his ear. "You could be great. It's all here in your head, and Slytherin will help you on your way to greatness." "No? Well, if you're sure, better be Gryffindor."
Welcome to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. I am Albus Dumbledore, your headmaster. Now, Hogwarts is full of secrets, Harry, so search behind every door. But keep in mind, not all secrets are rewarding. Only this morning, I took a wrong turn and stumbled upon a room full of chocolate frogs. But alas, when I returned, they'd been replaced by a nasty horde of fire crabs. Now, up the stairs and off to your lessons. Don't be late.
All right, I don't know if Dumbledore's, glass is glitched there or what, but yeah, this game is also from before mouse look was really standardized, so it's like a little bit weird. But yeah, like I said earlier, it's tank controls where you press left and right to turn. However, you can, you can just move that way. Okay, but yeah, this is from the early low poly era that I really, really do love the aesthetic of. It leaves some to the imagination, and I love it. Like, seriously, this pillar here it's literally like 7 polygons, something like that. Actually, no, it's 9 polygons, because there's one for the top as well. But it's literally just a rectangular block, and that's it, with maybe a flared base. And yet, with the detail on the textures, it makes it look like it's so much more. It makes it look like the actual braziers from the movies. And again, I really, really do love this. So if we hit this, we can actually see our in-game menu here, where we have our collection of Birdie Bots Every Flavored Beans, our collection of Chocolate Frog cards, our house points, and then you can see the house point totals for everybody here, as well as our Folio Magi, which lets us take a better, closer look at the Chocolate Frog cards, which we get to collect throughout the game. That is this game's main collectible. You can also collect Birdie Bots Every Flavored Beans. In order to 100% this game, you have to get, I think, 1,000 of those. Might be like 1,200. I don't quite remember the exact number. We may or may not be able to do that because some of these Chocolate Frog cards are really kind of hidden, and I don't quite remember where they all are. It's been years and years since I properly played this game. But let's just get started. We're in the main entrance here, and we just go straight up the stairs to get started. Nice and simple.
Hey, Harry! Remember me? Ron Weasley? My brothers, Fred and George, have something to show you. Follow me.
So again, this is from the era before, like, fully moving mouths as well in most in-game cutscenes. You gotta remember, this was a movie tie-in game as well. It was, so they didn't really have, like, the best budget.
Hello, Harry. We can show you how to get around Hogwarts. As a first year, you have a lot to learn. Follow us for a secret lesson.
I'll see you later in Defense Against the Dark Arts class. Good luck, Harry.
So yeah, Fred and George basically introduce us to the basic gameplay mechanics of traversal here.
To climb. Run to the bookcase and don't stop. You'll climb up. Above the bookcase is a Bertie Bott's Every Flavour bean. Collect all the beans you can find and meet us in the next room.
So yeah, another key thing to remember is that this game was designed for children, basically. Mostly kids like 8 to 12 years old. So it was a little bit more basic than, say, like Tomb Raider for the era. So even though there is a jump button, you can also switch it to auto jump. And climbing is you literally just hold up. You don't have to actually hold a button to do it or anything. You just hold up, and that's it. You actually don't even need to touch the mouse for the most part until you start casting spells. But yeah, just like Fred and George said, collect all the beans and continue on to the next room. I don't know how they got here, but they did.
Well done. Now, let's try jumping. Run to the ledge, then press the jump button to jump across. If you fall down, you can climb back up and start over. Meet us in the next room. We'll take the shortcut and meet you there.
Alright. So... oh, that's to get back up if you fall. So yeah, you can turn on auto jump, but you can also just manually jump as well. I tend to prefer that.
Good boy, it's Potty Wee Potter.
And that's
Peeves the poltergeist. He's always causing trouble. Peeves doesn't like first years, so watch your step.
Yes, he is. That is Peeves the Poltergeist. If you've only ever watched the movies, he does not make an appearance in there. He's only in the books and some of the games. And the reason why he's not in the movie is because they were originally going to include him, but they couldn't get him to look right during screen tests, so they eventually got rid of him. And honestly, he doesn't really add too much to the story itself, so he's just a minor character. They could get rid of him pretty easily that way.
You're getting the hang of this. In Hogwarts, you'll find all sorts of wicked treats. To pick up a treat, just run over to it. Chocolate frogs boost your energy. 30 bots every flavour beans are fun to collect. We're collecting them too. We need 25 beans, Harry. Come back when you've got them all. Come see us and we'll show you the way to class.
So yeah, Fred and George are the reason to collect the beans, and they're the reason why you need, what, I think like 1,200 of them by the end of the game? And that's because there is one, or periodically throughout the game, they'll ask for like a certain number of beans, and if you have that, they'll give you a chocolate frog card. And then like the very end, there'll be a little special extra scene if you've gotten as many as they've required throughout the entire game. So yeah, there is no run command, there is no walk command. It's literally just like one button to move. No difference between run and walk. So yeah, we have more than enough beans, but I still want to get them all. Yep, I didn't mean to do that, but we'll do that anyways. Chocolate frogs restore your health. So they are definitely good to collect if you are hurting a little bit, and thanks to Peeves, we were.
Thanks, Harry. We couldn't have done it without you. We need the beans for some experiments. Here's a wizard card for you. You've earned it.
So they give us our very first wizard card. Which, of course...
Find the secret exit above the bookcases to get to your first spell lesson. Good luck.
Of course, our first wizard card is Albus Dumbledore. And I really do like these wizard cards because it helps flesh out the world of Harry Potter, especially back then, where literally all we had were like 4 books at the time, I think, and like 1 movie when this came out. So Albus Dumbledore, unknown to present, current headmaster at Hogwarts, considered the greatest wizard of modern times. I think in the books, Dumbledore is supposed to be a little over 150 years old when he dies. Oh yeah, spoilers, Dumbledore dies. But I mean, the books are kind of old now, and like most people have read them. And if you are watching this without having read the books or watched the movies, I feel sorry for you. I'm sorry. Seriously.
Well, well, well. If it isn't the famous Harry Potter. I'm Draco Malfoy, and you do well to show me respect. These are my fellow Slytherins, Crabbe and Goyle. Naturally, we Slytherins are going to win the House Cup and the Quidditch Cup. You better stay out of our way, Potter. Let's go, boys.
So yeah, character introductions obviously happen a little bit differently now, as opposed to the movies and the books, because they have to fit it into the game somehow, and the game starts, you know, at start of term, September 1st.
Potter. Keep away from this corridor if you know what's good for you.
Yeah, that's Argus Filch, the caretaker. He's also the master of punishments. But yeah, character introductions are a little bit different because they have to fit into the game, and the game starts, you know, when we arrive at Hogwarts, whereas the books start, you know, back with the Dursleys, and the movies as well. And I think the only version of the game to not start at Hogwarts is Game Boy Color, which starts actually at Diagon Alley, I believe.
Hello, Harry. It's me, Hermione Granger. We met on the Hogwarts Express, remember? Defense against the dark arts is through this door. Follow me.
Oh, Hermione, how I had a crush on you when I was a kid. Of course, it doesn't help, or doesn't hurt, rather, that Emma Watson and I are the same age. You know, her actress in the movies.
Today we'll learn how to protect ourselves against the dark magic with the Flipendo spell. Watch my wand. Then hold down the mouse button and repeat the pattern. Release the button when you're done.
Yeah, periodically we have to learn spells, and you do get graded on accuracy and time. And there's 4 different tests. So basically you just want to kind of trace the pattern on the screen and do the best that you can. So yeah, it starts out the first test is 50%. You got to do that one in order to actually learn the spell. And then after that, I think they're all just for points.
Well done, Mr. Potter.
Might be after the second one that they're just for
5
points.
points for Gryffindor. And again, Mr. Potter, let's see what you can do.
But yeah, you have less time, you know, each round, but the accuracy mark is higher. I've always kind of hated this because I'm left-handed, and yet I use a mouse with my right hand, and so I struggle a little bit with this. Why do I use a mouse with my right hand even though I'm left-handed? Because the rest of my family is right-handed, and that's what I grew up with.
The house with the most points at the end of the year wins the house cup. 10 points for Gryffindor. Go on, Mr. Potter. Try again.
Alright, so this one's going to be a little bit tougher. Again, you got to try to be as accurate as possible and as quick as possible so that you don't run out of time. Of course, when you let go, that's it. And, oh, shoot. That's what I was afraid of, was that big stretch there. Only 71%. Once you fail one of the higher tests,
effort,
that's the end.
but not quite correct.
I don't think we get the fourth one. Yeah, lesson score 2 of 4. 15 points for Gryffindor.
Splendid. You may now enter the Flipendo Challenge to practice the spell. Follow me, Mr. Potter.
So that was all about learning the spell. Now we actually get to
Hold
try
down
it.
Mouse button to aim the Flipendo spell. Release the button to cast the spell. Try it on that barrel.
What if I tried it on you? No, it doesn't work when you try it on him. So yeah, basically casting, you have to use the mouse for that. There we go. And it does kind of auto-aim a little bit. Like, once you get close, you kind of have to, like, move far away and then get close again. There you go. But it's literally, like, just press the button in order to cast the spell. And that's what this challenge is all about, is using the spell, you know, learning the various ways you can do it. It's kind of a tutorial. And every time you learn a new spell, there's pretty much going to be a tutorial for it.
Cast your Flipendo spell at the switch on the wall to open the door.
But it'll change.
Flipendo affects all sorts of things, such as this cauldron. Knock it over, Mr. Potter.
Or rather, the more spells you have in your arsenal, the more they will all show up in the challenges. You know, even though a specific challenge might be geared around learning a specific spell, you know, you'll probably use most, if not all of them, in your arsenal in that challenge. Obviously, right now we just have the one spell, so it doesn't really matter. And then right across here, well, actually, first here you can kind of get a look at the upcoming room. Yeah, right across here is our first challenge star. So yeah, you collect those. I think there's 7 of them in each challenge. I'm not entirely sure. Like I said, it's been a long time. Alright.
Well done. Now, go on and collect your challenge stars. I'll meet you further on.
Okay, let's drop back down here. And then here we can just head straight across to get our second star. So if you notice the lighting here, it's like really well done. But what's interesting is this was back before, you know, things like ambient occlusion and obviously before ray tracing. So the only way they could do this was to bake the lighting into the textures themselves. And the way you do that is actually what you do is you set up your models in a 3D program, you know, like the kind you use to build it. You set up your models with their base textures in there, set up all the lighting you want, and then you render out a light map to the textures and then bake them onto them. So like that way, when you have the original textures and then you have the textures with the lighting already in it, that way you just have, you know, standard global illumination like this, or with like no shadows or anything, and it still ends up looking really, really nice. nowadays we've finally been able to do real-time ray tracing, and I really love the fact that I just got a RTX 2070 Super to replace my aging 980 Ti, and the 2070 Super is RTX, so there's ray tracing I can do with it, except for one problem. I've been running into some massive computer issues where, like, intensive games, specifically Civ 6 and Doom Eternal, will cause my computer to power boot, cause it to force a restart. And I don't like that, and I've been trying to get it fixed, but the first couple things I tried didn't work. It's not a software issue, it has to be hardware. And I don't like it.
Hello, Harry Potter. I am Nearly Headless Nick, the Gryffindor House Ghost. Now, this is a save game book. When you touch it, your game will automatically be saved. The game will restart from this point if you faint. You can also load a saved game from the main menu. Goodbye.
So yeah, I thought it was because the CPU was overheating, so I replaced the cooler for the CPU. I had the original stock Intel cooler, now I have a Corsair all-in-one water cooler. Didn't fix it. So then I thought, okay, maybe one of my RAM sticks is bad. So I bought a two-stick kit to replace them. One of those sticks was dead on arrival. The other one works, but it turns out that wasn't my issue either. So now I'm running 24 gigabytes instead of 16, which is better, but still not the 32 I would have been running if not for that dead stick. So then I thought, well, maybe the GPU's failing. I've never had one fail like this before, but it is possible. Nope, that's not it. I just replaced that today. Not happening. Which doesn't leave me too many more options. Most likely culprit right now is either the power supply itself or the motherboard. I really, really hope it's the power supply. I've got one on order from Amazon. Should be here next week. So I will finally be able to figure that out. And if not, if that still doesn't fix it, then I'm going to have to replace my motherboard. And since my CPU is 5 years old, even though it's still a decent one, it's a Intel i7 4790K. So it's like 4 gigahertz, 4 cores. It's still a decent CPU. Since I have to replace the motherboard, though, I may as well replace that as well, which likely means replacing the RAM that I just bought, which sucks. I've already spent $800 on fixing this computer, and I might have to spend another $500-600, if not more, by the time this is all through, and it'll be pretty much a brand new computer entirely. Because at that point, if that doesn't fix it, then it's got to be either my solid-state boot drive or my mass storage hard drive. And honestly, I don't think it's either of those. But I have no idea what it could be then at that point.
Cast a flipendo spell on this block to knock it out of the way.
But suffice it to say, once we have this all sorted out, I'm definitely going to be doing some more intensive games rather than like all this older stuff. Like, I definitely want to do Quake 2 RTX, which, yeah, it's an older game, but it was redone for RTX, like full proper ray tracing. Okay, so that's as far as that goes. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do love these older games, but they can be... I mean, I want to play the newer stuff too. Doom Eternal had just come out when this was starting to become a problem for me. And I got about halfway through it, playing in like hour-long snippets as I waited for, every time my PC rebooted, forced to restart. But then I got like 9 hours into an 18-hour game, and it power booted, it forced a restart right in the middle of when the game was saving, which ended up corrupting the save. Which wouldn't normally be a problem, except for the fact that Doom Eternal, for some ungodly reason, is autosave only. I have no fucking clue why they don't at least allow manual saves as backups, but it's autosave only. Which means, if your save is corrupted, the only thing to do is to start it over from the beginning. which I didn't really want to do right then, because again, still having PC issues. And, like I said, I was 9 hours into an 18-hour game. I had everything unlocked up to that point. Like, everything that was possible to be unlocked was unlocked up to that point. I didn't really want to do that again. Now, it's been enough time for me that, even though I'm still a little salty over it, I'm ready to go back into Doom Eternal, but I'm not going to until I can get this all sorted out. So it's like now I have a GTX 980 Ti sitting in a box, which apparently is still good, and an RTX 2070 Super sitting in my computer, which is practically useless right now because I can't max it out the way I want to. You know, I have to play games that like don't use like anything in terms of GPU power, because it's like anything that's GPU intensive. You know, rendering videos for YouTube, that's fine because that's CPU intensive, not GPU intensive. But running, you know, high performance games, not good right now, which really, really sucks. Alright. These platforms are a little bit tricky because you can end up overshooting them very easily, or mistiming your jumps as well. Oh, I forgot. I got to... There we go. Start up the next one. There we go. Can I get that from here? Doesn't look like it. Ah, there we go. No, bad angle. Seriously, really bad angle. Alright, come on, come on. Am I far enough? Yes, good. I was a little worried I might have been too far away for that. So yeah, here's what I mean about baked lighting earlier. Notice the gold sheen on the wall behind the star, and the blue lighting on the right, and the orange lighting on the left for all the beans. You take the star and the beans, all that lighting sticks around because it's baked into the textures. It's not dynamic in any way. Nowadays, something like that would be dynamic. Like, it wouldn't necessarily be real-time ray traced, but for like shadows and stuff, but you would still have the dynamic lighting from the objects themselves. So that lighting would have disappeared when those objects did. Oh, you're running away. There we go. I almost wasn't sure I was going to get that. Alright. So yeah, the other thing is, even if my computer was fine right now, I am like way overpowered for the display I'm running, because I'm only running a 1080p, well, two 1080p 60 frames, you know, 60 hertz displays.
They like to pester young wizards, knock him on his backside to complete the challenge. They move quickly and can be quite a nuisance.
So yeah, once I get my computer sorted out, those are definitely next on my list of things to upgrade, is the actual... There we go. The actual display that I'm using. No, 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 no! Ah, damn it. No, you stole my beans! Ah, and there's no quick turn. Damn it, he stole my beans too. Stole my other beans. Problem is, you don't get them back. There we go. But yeah, you gotta knock these guys on their asses. Sucks that I lost 6 beans to them. And I can only get 2 more from here. I don't know what the next hurdle is for Fred and George, but I'm pretty sure it's more than the 35 we have now.